Trump and the Republicans have a plan to crush the pro-Palestine movement in the US in the next 1 to 2 years. So let's talk about exactly how they're going to do it and what we can do to prepare ourselves. This is all written down in what's called Project Esther, which is created by the same organization that brought us Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation. Project Esther claims that there's a massive H group support network inside the United States that has infiltrated the media, universities, the government, and even the internet itself. Organizations like Jewish Voices for Peace, Students for Justice in Palestine, and others are considered H group support organizations funded by Iran via non-profit foundations. And of course, as always, this is apparently all part of a global conspiracy to destroy American democracy and freedom. Project Esther basically has 4 parts to it. And like Project 2025, many of the policies and ideas laid out in Project Esther are already being implemented. First is controlling education, especially on college campuses, by deporting or blacklisting professors and students who are critical of Israel, removing Palestinian stories from schools and replacing them with Israeli narratives, and limiting federal funding to colleges that divest from Israel. Second is controlling social media by suppressing or outright banning pro-Palestinian content. Third, they want to cut off funding to any organization that supports the Palestinian cause. This is why a couple months ago they introduced the Non-Profit Killer Bill, which allows the government to revoke tax-exempt status from any non-profit organization that the government doesn't agree with. Lastly, they want to discredit the movement publicly and sow division within the movement itself. This includes conducting mass surveillance on protesters and even manufacturing situations that make the Palestine movement look bad. And we're already seeing that happen too. After the recent attack in New Orleans on New Year's Day, mainstream media didn't waste any time in trying to link it with the Palestine movement by reporting it as a potential spillover from the resistance in the Middle East. The goal of all of this very clearly is to eradicate any support for Palestine from all levels of society with a very targeted campaign. Historically, whenever there's a growing mass movement that is becoming a real threat to the empire's interests, crackdown campaigns happen, and we're seeing all of the signs of it again today. And yes, this is all pretty scary to hear, but the difference now is that we see it coming. So the question then becomes, what are we going to do about it? When the education system is compromised, we have to pick up the slack and spread the information and knowledge that is being suppressed. So supporting independent journalists and revolutionary education projects is going to become more important than ever. We have to start using social media more strategically too, knowing that pretty much anything that we post there is going to be monitored and also likely suppressed. So we should also be following our favorite creators and journalists on platforms off of social media. With the increased surveillance, this is also a good time to get our digital security unlocked. And finally, we can't let petty ideological differences keep us from building coalition with anyone who shares the goal of seeing a free Palestine, because we know those differences will be exploited to separate us. Whatever we do, we can't be intimidated and we can't back down. If anything, we need to keep upping the pressure through escalating direct actions all around the country. If you want to learn more about how we can build community and combat government suppression, check out theconsciouscitizens.org, where we are building a community and resource hub for collective liberation. You can sign up for free at theconsciouscitizens.org, and if you've been enjoying these videos, it's also a great way to support our work for as little as $2 a month.